it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta
to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he.
Yeah.
And yes. Oh my goodness. And as you can see, I brought along some crazy friends with me. Our panel is here today. Oh my goodness. And we are now into January, and we thank everybody for joining us. We thank everybody that's watching us on YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube, please share this with friends, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. The good thing about being on YouTube is that normally when we update another video, you will get a automatic notification. So we definitely appreciate you guys for checking us out that way. As always, we are also available on the Roku app under Empower TV Network. Simply go to add your favorites, add a channel rather, and look for Empower. And that way you can get plugged in, not only to Head to Head, which we definitely want you to do, but there's also Head to Head Sports. And there's also a slew of short films by some really great creative people, comedy specials, talk shows. There's some praise and worship, all kinds of things on there as well. You can watch it on the live stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or you can also watch it on demand. And just to let you know, we are definitely showing up in a lot of different living rooms. As I look through my analytics, as I like to do from time to time, I see that we have had people come in from Canada, Mexico, Brazil,
Wow.
Argentina,
Yes.
and Ireland.
All right.
Well, we are
Yeah,
international.
I had to call a few people, Brian, you know.
Oh, yeah. See, I should have known. I should have known who had the hookup with all this international stuff. Who else know all these little snow bunnies and stuff other than Brad? Of course he does.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's Brad. It was Brad. Yeah, well, we appreciate all that you do, Brad. The check is in the mail. But yeah, we really do appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, if you are watching and you would like to be on the panel, please reach out to us at theparkermedia@gmail.com. We'll get you on the panel, as long as you ain't spouting no crazy QAnon theories, which we're going to talk a little bit about today. And then you'll see why we don't want your ass on here if you're talking about QAnon. But other than that, please feel free to reach out to us. We would love to have you. If you would like to sponsor a segment, please reach out to us. We'll put a 15, 30, 45-second commercial up for you. If you'd like to be on the network with an event, product, good, service, anything else like that, birthday shout out, want to take do a crazy picture with your dog, I'll take that right now. We'll put that up there too, unless you got an ugly dog. Every dog is just like babies. Every baby ain't cute, so
some dogs are just precious.
Yeah, well, when all you can gather to say is, well, bless their heart, that's an ugly dog.
What about FBI informants? Can they come and hang out, hide out? You know,
FBI informants.
FBI informants.
As long as they're not proud, as long as they're not the Proud Boy FBI informant, sure. Oh,
He was bivocational.
Anyway, let's get to our panel and welcome them today. First up, we have Mr. C.J. Jones. How you doing, sir?
Woo! How y'all doing? Thank you for
Man,
having
we
me.
are good. We are good. Now we have Miss Kim Morrow. How you doing?
I am doing great. I got a different pair of Chucks today. Got my pearls and got
You
my
got the pearls and the chucks, boy. We are ready for Kamala madness going on, I tell you. And we have one of the greatest Tar Heels out there, Mr. Von Allen. How you doing?
Doing well. Got my black on, ready for the revolution still.
All right.
All right now. Coming to us from a galaxy far, far away. And no, he is not my father. It is Jermaine Parker. How you doing, sir?
Hey, search your feelings. You know it be true. I'm your brother.
No. Oh God, I got a feeling we're gonna have Star Trek and Friday lines all day long. Okay, maybe a couple of Last Dragon lines too. And now Mr. Brad Coffin, how you doing, sir?
Sir, yes, sir. I'm good. It's always an honor. And let's just be real. Brian is the reason you're pulling people from all over the world. You understand? He's the reason you're getting an audience every week, and it's consistent. You got to give credit to where it's due.
Oh my goodness, I'll take it wherever I can get it. I'll give credit right now because when I keep seeing these numbers and this viewership go up, January viewership is the highest that we've had. We've been up since August, and the numbers that I ain't gonna lie, I look at my numbers every single day because I just kind of want to see are people looking, are people really watching this? And the answer is yes. So the viewership on actual Empower Network is amazing, and then since we've added the YouTube channel to it, just starting to watch how much head-to-head is getting played back throughout the week. So first and foremost, thank you to my panel, because I know you guys are going on Facebook. When I share it to you, you're sharing it to other people. Continue to do that, because I remember when, if I got 1 or 2 views on YouTube for it, I was almost happy as I could be, like, wow. Then I start seeing 40 and 50 and 60. I'm like, oh, wow, this is amazing. That, people are watching us and stuff like that. So this is a great opportunity for us to be able to reach out to more and more people, talk about some things people think about, some things they don't think about, and come from different angles and points of views and things like that. So I really appreciate all of y'all for taking your time to be able to add to that. You've added something to this. So I truly, truly thank you guys for doing that. So Jermaine, Brad, before we got started, we were in the green room. I'm sorry, not the blue room. We were in the green room, and we were talking about, now I done messed up my logo. And we were talking about things that were very, very important, like Girl Scout cookies. So I got to know, starting out, what's your go-to cookie?
I'm old-fashioned, man. I like the trefoil.
There you go.
I also like the coconut. I like the coconut. Yeah,
Yes.
I like the trefoil.
There
I'm
you
plain
go.
and boring, just like that.
Yes.
No, I have those. I have those.
Yes.
I was telling them. I'm sorry, Jermaine. Go ahead. Where you got? What you got?
No, Thin Mints.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Thin Mints. Like brother like myself, chocolate, smooth,
Right.
It is.
Easy on the palate.
There you go. Minty fresh.
Minty fresh. Thanks, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we got to get you a publicist. Anyway,
Jermaine, call me. We need to talk about spinoff. You need a spinoff. You deserve a spinoff, Jermaine. You're the reason for the season. You're the reason for the numbers.
Me and Ms. Brown are gonna do a spinoff.
Yeah, we talking about that. Yeah.
and make sure when you do, you air it on Empower. I would appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. When I want all y'all to have a show, air it on Empower. That's all I'm asking. We can I'll give you your own day of the week. You can have whatever day you want.
My first episode will be this cookie fight, because like Samoas take all of the cookies down.
No,
Boom.
they are.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yes.
As a
Eat my
former
cookies with
brownie and
calories.
Girl Scout,
Yeah.
I think the trefoils are still holding their own. But to
Really?
everyone, thank you for
Man,
supporting the cause.
them Samoa banging, man.
Nah,
Because it's that
yeah.
combination. It's like when you bite into it,
Coconut,
you
the
get,
chocolate,
yes.
Mhm.
and then you get a little
you're
crunch
getting so
to
many
it.
things.
Mhm.
Right. All in
Y'all
one
way too
bite.
complicated. Way
It's
too
like a model for
complicated.
diversity, actually.
Life is simple. Get them Thin Mints on you. You can't keep the reason y'all eat Samoa is because you can't even find Thin Mints. Everybody was sold out on Thin Mint stuff. Samoa's just like they hanging off the
That's the only
tree.
time
I'm a nonconformist.
Why you even look for the other cookies? Come on, bro.
I'm a
Dwayne,
nonconformist. Y'all can
Dwayne,
have it.
I have 2 boxes. I have 2 boxes of Thin Mints. I had 2 boxes of Samoas, but I seem to have misplaced one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah,
And
Samoa's kind of, you eat the Samoas, you kind of rethink your whole life path
you
because
really
you're
do.
supposed to be eating them.
I
But then,
know. You know, I felt so
they
bad.
aren't that good.
I would only literally eat 2 a day because I felt guilty if I ate a third one.
two, Brian? 2 packs, you mean? 2 packs?
Yeah,
Two
those are the
something.
ones that get you in trouble.
Hey, you
Yeah,
can't
or,
eat
you know,
2.
and then
Trouble.
being,
There was such a thing as good trouble.
right, yeah, there you go. And you know, and being the diabetic I am, I just know that if I have a big
Gotcha.
old cup of water right next to me, that'll be okay. God gonna look
Gotcha.
after me.
He gonna hold you.
He gonna hold. He gonna do something to me. But I can't. But yeah, my wife said they bought 10 boxes, bro.
Wow.
Come help a brother out. She's serious. When it, and like I was telling the panel earlier, you know, now you can get them from online, so you don't even have to go in front of Walmart no more. Where the little table is stationed outside, and break a kid's heart and say, "I'm sorry, my wife subverted you and went online, so you have her to thank for this."
I think they're allowed to sit out front of the store right now because of
Well, yeah,
COVID.
they can't do it anyway. But they've been doing them online before. Aunt Corona showed up. But
So I'm
Man.
talking to the Girl Scout who graduated with her gold star, whatever they call it. So she was a Girl Scout for at least 10, 12, 15 years. She said, hands down, Thin Mints ruled the day. They were bestseller.
Because
And
people
I
are
believe
sheep.
that
People are sheep.
because old people like Thin Mints and peppermints and any mint.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your point is what?
Wow.
Well, I'm just saying they have
See,
some
they
old,
talk to these people.
I mean, they start going, "Here you go, baby. You want a mint?" "No, Grandma, I'm good." No. Don't pull no more mints out, Grandma. I got PTSD because of you. I don't want
Here you go, baby. Here you go, baby.
Wait a minute. Maybe that's why I like Thin Mints.
I'm sure that's why you like Thin Mints. You think you about to get a peek?
You mean breast mint?
Oh my goodness.
You think you about to get a peek? That's what you thinking.
No.
You like, please, God, drop it on the floor and pick it up, please.
Please.
Oh, praise
He's
God.
crazy.
Ain't God good? Look at God.
Unless it was from Sister such and such.
All right. Well, look, y'all. Girl Scout cookies, you rock. We appreciate you. That was definitely a good laugh. As I told y'all earlier in the email, you know, there hadn't been a whole lot of things going on this week. So, you know, we're going to really, really have to just press through and try to figure out what's been happening in the world. Oh,
I'm thinking that the hedge fund folks is a little ticked off at y'all underlings with this stock purchase of GameStop.
That's right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Devon,
Yeah.
what in the world is this whole GameStop thing about?
I don't know.
So first of all, I'm on Robinhood. Somebody turned me on to it. So I have a few shares in some companies, not enough to get rich, but on Reddit, there's a group of people who just watch the market and they try to make some money. So that's one group. Over here, you got some hedge fund folks, and I'm trying to simplify this. They were basically betting against the market. Like, let me gather these shares and hold them, expecting that the price would stay down and they could like make their profits. Well, that didn't happen because this group on Reddit started making the stock price go up and up and up. And so these hedge fund managers can't sell enough without having these major losses. And even though this Reddit group has made a lot of money, like hundreds of thousands and, you know, more thousands of dollars, they're like, oh, we ain't selling. So you're just gonna have to take an L because we're doing what you've always done, but we're the underling, so suck it up.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm gonna learn how to play your game and then play it better on you.
Absolutely.
yeah,
And they are
that-
9 kinds of ticked off behind that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did. They got a whole bunch of people together who consolidated their money and decided to invest in this, GameStop, AMC, and a couple other stocks and stuff, which drove up the stock price. And so it's the same thing that these millionaires have done before when they just singular, it only takes a couple of them to drive prices up and stuff to make profits. And they're in control of the game. And they just didn't like it that they got outsmarted on this one. And the thing that's really going to be big to see in the next couple of days is a lot of people saying it's manipulation, stuff like that, but the market's always manipulated. What's going to be big in the next couple of days is what are they going to do about it? Because they can't stop them. Apps like Robinhood today, who I had I trade with them, and I switched to E-Trade because Robinhood decided that we're going to stop you from even being able to purchase this stuff, and all you can do is sell it to drive the price down because everybody got mad and stuff. But it's not illegal for like us on the channel to say, hey, we're all going to invest in the same stock. That's not illegal for us to do it. We don't own the stock. We're not managers of the company and stuff, so it's not insider trading. We just all decide to pull our money and go for the same thing. So we'll see in the coming days how they try to resolve that, because they really can't, which means that it won't be GameStop next time, but it could be
BlackBerry or
yes, absolutely.
Blockbuster,
or
one of these companies you've never heard of before.
So I should do an IPO, and no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. GameStop has done nothing really. I mean, they've got some online sales, but they've done nothing to like increase the value of the company. Right. It's all about people's buying and holding of shares.
So then this is really just inflated, though, then, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Because you're overvaluing this company that really has been losing because it's more of a brick and mortar business than its online sales. And number one, with COVID, and then number two, a lot of times people don't even buy games anymore. They just download them to their PS4s.
Directly onto their player, right.
Right. So
GameStop had been closing a lot of stores, nationwide.
Yeah. Who trades in their old games anymore and gets a new game? Right.
Well,
the last two Maddens I've gotten, I downloaded.
GameStop traded in their own stock and wiped away. They were actually very much in debt. And they were, because of this play, they traded in their stock and paid off their debt. So they're happy.
I didn't know that.
So they're good. And a lot of people make some money. What it is like Devon was saying, there's a lot of rich people who were betting you can put puts against calls and puts for option trading and stuff. And they put puts against it, saying that it's going to go down. I make money when you lose, when your stocks devalue. And it went up 2,000%. And so they lost a lot of money. And so they're mad. But so what? That's the same thing that they do. All it is that we're trying to read the market to see what they're doing, so I can put my little money over here to try to go up and down with the market and stuff, instead of people flip it on his head and say, you know what, why don't we put all our money together and we'll move the market ourselves.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And just old school, the players got played, that's all.
Basically.
That's what they say. Don't hate the player.
Hate the game.
That's the moral of this story, I think.
Yep.
Hate the game.
My goodness.
Stop.
Well, thank you, Devona. That and Jermaine, that really kind of explains. I've been seeing this report and stuff like that, and I'm gonna have to really get with y'all about this whole Robinhood thing and see what that's about. I did try E-Trade for a little bit. I think my knowledge was just too limited with it, and I kind of just let it go. And I probably
I'm a hip you to option trading, because that's how we're gonna take a little bit of money and make a lot of money.
Well, I'm all about a little bit of money. So, in addition to being Kim's little cousin, I have little money. So
you just talk about the Bens, not the Benjamin.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I got Ben. I just don't have Jermaine, so yeah. Yeah.
So Jermaine, you're a pro at this. This is you're a pro at this.
Yes. Oh, I'm by no means a pro, but I know.
Have you made any money? Have you made any money off of it?
Yeah, I sold some.
Okay,
options.
I want to talk to you then.
Yeah, I played a long game. I haven't sold anything. I'm just accruing like over time.
But have you seen gains from it?
I have seen some gains. Some stuff it's up and down, but again, long game, that doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I also didn't invest like the kids' college like savings fund either. So
Yeah.
I'm
Let
not.
them
I
fend for
didn't invest
themselves.
Definitely do
anything
Let
I
them
that.
could
fend for
lose.
themselves.
Right.
You should have done that in GameStop.
I saw some kid walked away with 82 grand yesterday
Well,
All right.
at the end of the day, you know?
All
you know,
right.
them kids don't need no college.
They're gonna have to get out of here.
Peace Corps. Send them to a Peace Corps. Yeah, maybe travel.
Because then I might have to like do a reconnaissance and save them from some like hostage situation. And
Oh, we'll send Captain CJ and the Space Force in to come get them. Don't worry about it. Space Force will be up and running by then. We got you. No. Well, maybe Jermaine will be doing Space Force because every time I keep looking at his background, I'm just waiting for the lights.
Say, man, that is the coolest
hood.
background. I like that, brother.
Yeah.
I
I just want a cool dark Sith kind of thing. Pull the hood over and get your lightsaber. Let's do this.
Rest
I
of the,
mean, now
Lord,
that's perfect.
that's the
you should have showed up just like that.
You know, I thought Samuel L. Jackson was the only black Jedi out there. Now, you know,
oh, there's some force with it.
I mean, I can tell you definitely have the Force.
And also with you and with you.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, I don't know if you guys know, but we've had the same president now for the last 8 days.
Yep.
And his name is not Donald Trump. His name is Joseph R. Biden, and he's been doing some things in office since he got there. But one of the funny things is that before Biden even got in office, he talked a lot about unity. He talked about trying to bring people together and all this kumbaya message. And the other side of the aisle is really trying to spin that in a way where it sounds to me more like, well, if you do things that we don't like you to do, then you ain't really trying to unify anybody. But it kind of seems like whenever they're in office and they have majorities or anything, they always say, well, you know, elections do have consequences. So the people have spoken and they want us to do this, and we're going to press forward with or without you. Now that Biden is in office and he's pushing a lot of these things, we're hearing the cries of that's not unifying. And one of the biggest things that they're crying that is not unifying is that Donald Trump on his way out incited some folks to try to tear down the Capitol and stop the count of votes by the joint session of Congress. In doing so, he earned himself the honor of being the first president to be impeached twice. So now we have, he's been impeached while he was in office, and now the House has taken over the article of impeachment to the Senate this week. And one of the first things that they wanted to do was try to deem it unconstitutional, which that's kind of been shot down a couple of times, that you can't impeach somebody that's no longer in office, or convict rather. He was already impeached. They keep saying you can't impeach him. Well, he was already impeached while he was in office. He's not being impeached. He's being tried for that impeachment. But the funny thing is that you hear a lot of people now saying this is divisive, it's time to move on, let bygones be bygones, which sends a really bad message that as long as you wait till the end of the game, then it's okay to break the rules and there's not going to be any accountability. But what I want to know from you guys really is, where was this whole idea about moving on and unification on around November the 7th, when every major media outlet called the election?
Nowhere to be found. That's the quickest response. It was nowhere to be found because, I mean, it wasn't a piece on the board to play.
It kind of seems like that's a convenient thing to say, but it's very, it has no meaning to it, because it's like, well, wait a minute, when the people had spoken and all the votes had come in, where was this whole thing about moving on? But no, you guys were more like, nah, it was stolen, it was rigged, Hugo Chavez came out of the grave and did all these things. You know, where was this? You know, that's pretty divisive. You know,
I'm wondering why people suddenly had a problem with being divisive.
What?
Like I thought that was on the menu. That was the word of the day.
Yeah. What's that line off of Friday? Whenever they had flipped the story back on my man, he was like, "Oh yeah, that's different."
Yeah.
See, it's like that, you know.
Oh yeah, Red. When they said, "Well, what
Yeah,
happened when
yeah.
Debo was strangling me out?" And he's like, "Ain't that different?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's a good
in other
meme.
words, don't you call me out on my stuff, but I can do it. I can get away
Right.
with it.
Right.
Right. The good old double standards. We can, you can't. Do as we say, not as we
Yeah.
do.
And I'm hoping that Democrats do not fall into this trap of theirs about because Republicans will try to play you. They'll go, okay, we ain't gonna do this, and then they do it. And then you try to call them out on their hypocrisy, and they looking at you like you can't really shame me because I have no shame. Like when they tried to call out Lindsey Graham for going against what he said that's on tape about you can call me out for what I said. If there is a seat that opens up on the bench and it's an election year and Trump is the president, I mean, he basically spelled it out, basically how it went down. And somehow it was still different, Rest in peace, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She passed. And before her seat could get cold, they done put Amy Coney Barrett up in that seat. And he said previously that under those conditions, that would not have happened. And we all watched before our lying eyes that it did happen anyway. So you're right. There's definitely double standards with stuff. Even now with Mitch McConnell trying to hold up the chairmanships in the Senate because he wanted Chuck Schumer to just write off the fact that, hey, you're not going to get rid of the filibuster, right? You're not going to get rid. So I'm not going to sign off on this until you promise. You promise? And Schumer was like, no, I'm not promising nothing. And that was the first sign that I was like, okay, maybe they're really ready to play ball this time. Learn from your past, learn from your mistakes, or you are doomed to repeat them. So hopefully we don't have to see this play out again. Hopefully whatever their agenda is, they get it through, because technically you're on the clock if you're a Democrat right now. You got about 2 years before midterm elections, and the party that's normally in power loses a bunch of seats when midterms come up. So if you want to get anything done, you got 2 years. You might as well just go for it and get it all.
Yeah, I say let's go for the whole basket. Let's not play Mr. Nice Guy. Let's go for, let's pack the court. Let's go for, everything that we want to do, let's do it. They've already shown us that they're hypocrites, and they could care less about what's fair and balanced. They could care less. They showed us that over the last 4 years. I think Democrats need to be aggressive and go for as much as they can.
While they can. Because like you said, these 2 years are crucial. But you've got some major issues you got to tackle too. And on top of all of that, on top of the mess that you're inheriting, you've got a goddamn global pandemic that you're trying to half the country to pay attention to. Half the country has to pay attention to it before we can start to see some gains from this thing.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Wasn't it Maya Angelou who said, when people show you who they are, believe them?
Believe it. Yes.
Right. And so I think we keep, as a group, a collective, we're expecting morality from immoral people based on their actions alone. I don't know, what they pray to or who they pray to, but the actions show that there's a disregard for human life. And once you show me that, all bets are off the table. So to your point, Brad, I wish that Democrats would go with that. It's like, I already know who you are. I can't trust your promises. I can't trust you reaching across the aisle, because reaching across the aisle means you're going to try to stab me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm going to lean in and you going to pull me. The perfect meme for Democrats and Republicans is Democrats are Charlie Brown and the Republicans are Lucy with that daggone football. And you just keep thinking every single time, you're not gonna move it right. And the thing is that he doesn't just run up to the ball and try to kick it. He tries with all his might to kick that football, only for her to pull it back and him to look like a fool.
Yeah.
I think you just lost your 18 to 30 demographic on that.
So everybody, there was a group called the Peanuts. No.
No, but we're saying the epitome of politicians being politicians. That's all. They are being who they are. Politicians are being politicians, cutthroat, you name it, to get what they want, to appease their constituents, to set themselves up, like we said before, set themselves up for the next election, all of that. That's exactly what they're doing. And they're scared. They're scared of their constituents. They don't want all those sugar dumbs, the Antifas and the KKK and Proud Boys and all that. They don't want them showing up at their front door. They don't want that. They're scared.
Well, you know what? You know, it's funny, Kim. Those factions, if you want to call them that, have always been that underlying current with them. The problem is they elected somebody that basically said, now come on out, let's talk about this. So they always used to hear the whispers from them. Now they've given them a seat at the table to now where now they're walking the halls of Congress. They are packing guns on the floor.
Holding doors open.
So I kind of disagree with that, because history says that they only took a nap for a little bit, but historically, they have always been in Congress. Historically, they have always been in the presidency. You know, when people say Donald Trump is the most racist president in the world in American history, I think to myself, really? Because we had presidents that owned slaves.
The most exposed. No, he's the most exposed one.
No.
We had slave owners.
We had slave owners as presidents. I believe they qualify as worse. What it is that we got comfortable in the late 70s and 80s, 90s and stuff. And especially we were also this slide 2008. Oh, we elected a black president. It's over. It's not going on. Most of the people
move on
in my universe, the universe that I occupy, realized that no, it's toned down. And we kept saying no, racism isn't dead. Well, we kept hearing, oh, sure it is. We've got this, and you know, they were pointing to these. Yeah, they were pointing to these token kind of things and stuff. But I guess my point is for all this is that it's always been there. It's always been a part of the party. So much that when they talk about, remember, one of the great things the debates they always talk about right now is when the Republicans used to be Democrats and when Democrats used to be Republicans and stuff. But why did they switch? Why did the Dixiecrats switch over back to Republicans and stuff? It was because of racism. It has always been the staple of their party, is that we do things to make sure that we protect white privilege and white positions, and that we make sure that we keep minorities in line, whether it be law enforcement or through laws. And that's the way that we govern and stuff. And so I'm not surprised by any of this. None of this stuff shocks me. The only thing I'm shocked by, it's been like 7-8 days, and Joe Biden has not fixed the economy. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how Joe failed us these last 8 days. It's fixed the economy. Rona's killing people. You know, that's what I'm concerned about, because this other stuff, that's history. That's history. I'm just not shocked.
So he should have fixed all this in 8 days?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. He's Superman.
Absolutely. Because that's what I keep seeing on my Facebook.
It's all better now. We can relax.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, remember, for months he said, you know, as soon as, you know, Joe Biden, or as soon as Trump's out of office, it's just going to stop, right? Remember, they said the virus was just going to stop and it was going to magically start getting better once, you know, Biden took over, or once Trump is gone. It's so fake that once Trump is gone, it's going to get better. No, it's not getting better. And they came out and they held their meeting publicly, right? We didn't see that before. We didn't see the coronavirus task force being held publicly before. They did it just this week. You know, they're not trying to hide behind any curtains. And, you know, it's going to take a while. And they said it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Right.
You know, 90,000 more deaths in the next month or so. Like,
well, Brad, in fairness, though, what Trump actually said, though, is that the day after the election, you won't hear him talking about the virus as much. And he was right. But what he meant was he wasn't going to be talking about it after the election. Right. Because after the election, You ain't never hear him say nothing. All he kept talking about was how I've been wronged, how we've been greed, how we've lost our country. We got to show strength, go up to the Capitol, kick ass and take names. That's all you heard. You didn't hear Trump say anything else about that virus. You barely heard him say anything about it before the election. But what he meant is that after the election is gone and it is not to my advantage to talk about it,
right,
I'm not going to talk about it.
Right.
And he didn't. And he kept his word. He didn't say another word about the virus. He didn't say anything during the holiday season about, hey, I know this might be the first holiday where y'all are missing a loved one as a result of COVID-19. Our heart, and what's famous Republican line? Our thoughts and prayers are with you at this time.
Sending thoughts and prayers.
Oh no, Trump didn't say that. Trump didn't. He never talked about thoughts and prayers. It's not in him. It's not in the man.
Yeah.
So he always talked about China and where it came from. He never anybody or feeling any sorrow for anyone who lost a loved one.
No. Yeah.
But he did say he loved those insurrectionists. We love you.
He did tell them, hey, he's like, I understand how you feel.
You're beautiful.
And you're special.
But not beautiful enough to pardon.
Right. He's showing his Christian love, because you remember it was a Christian administration. He had up his Bible in front of a church, and how he allowed them to sing.
Over here.
Right, all the good old hymnals there in the Capitol, and that's why they loved him, because they were able to come in and sing and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Well, Kevin,
I tell you what, Joe Biden's been in office. He did bring
Merry Christmas back. He did bring Merry Christmas back.
Joe Biden has been in office for one Sunday. He's been to church more times than Trump did.
A whole year.
Right? You know what he just took on? I'd be in church every day. I'd put a sanctuary in the White House.
Right. The evangelicals, they never hold him on that. They never hold him on his upside down Bible. Is that your Bible? It's a Bible.
It's a Bible.
That was one of those Bibles with a hole cut out for a bottle of liquor. That's what kind of Bible that was.
Yeah.
That was the hymn book. That was the book of hymns, man.
The hymn of the Republic. I think that's what it was.
The battle hymn of the Republic.
Well, you know, I will give Biden some credit. You know, he said during his campaign, hey, when I get in there, day one, we're going to do this. And that has almost become so cliche, because people are like, well, you're not going to do that on day one. Right. I mean, you're coming into the office at noon. You got all these, you got to walk down the Capitol to the White House. There's the balls and all the after parties. And we know with COVID, a lot of that stuff was pulled back anyway. Right. But when I thought about him actually getting to work, I really considered that being January the 21st. Oh, no. There were some things that actually happened on the 20th. One of the first things was there was actually a White House press conference where the press secretary did not come out and say this was the largest inauguration crowd, period. Start out the administration with a lie. So Jen Psaki, congratulations, she didn't do that. Also, she's been holding regular White House briefings. She not only held one on the very first day, that Wednesday, but she followed up with Thursday, Friday, and she's also followed up with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hadn't missed a beat, answered questions, ain't called the media the enemy of the people, fake news or anything like that, has been respectful. Doesn't mean that she answers every question, but it also, she ain't looking into a binder like old Kayleigh McEnany and trying to figure out what response I'm going to give, because all of this was already written out for me to say. So on that end, they've done a lot of things. To what Brad was saying, the coronavirus task force doesn't have the president hovering over them, just make sure that they stay on message and say the right things. And now the scientists are actually being able to, like Brad said, be honest and forthcoming and call balls and strikes and basically say, hey, there are some good things coming, but it's going to take some time. It's going to get worse before it gets better, so that people understand that this is serious. It's not rounding the curve and all that other foolishness, happy talk that we were getting. And then lastly, you know, Biden has been doing a whole bunch of executive orders. Now, I'm happy about some of the executive orders, but I want a lot of those executive orders to become policy. because just as much as he is reversing a lot of the things that Trump did via executive order, the next president that comes in can undo any executive order with the stroke of a pen. How many executive orders has Biden done already? Does anybody know?
32.
Was it 17?
15, I don't know. It's been a lot. And he did some on
21. He's done 21. He's done 21.
Oh, wow.
He's
Okay.
done 21 in 8 days.
I know he did some today as well.
I remember Donald Trump mentioning that, well, you know, there was always a tweet for every stupid thing Trump said. So he always clowned Obama about golfing too much, and then he actually exceeds what Obama did. He also tweeted one time about Obama needs to stop doing executive orders and get stuff passed through Congress the way it's supposed to be done, because he was the deal maker. And Obama needs to learn how to go make deals instead of playing golf all the time. Well, Obama did in 2 terms, and remember this, Obama did in 2 terms 276 executive orders, which is a lot. And a lot of executive orders are symbolic. Donald Trump in 4 years did 220. So if he would have had another 4 years, if you average that out, he'd had about 480, and Obama only did 276 in 2 terms. So he was gonna blow that past that record again too, and claim Obama did not make enough deals with joint Congress to get things passed. But Biden has already started out, and he's passed executive orders from ensuring the future is made in all of America by all of America workers. So he's really trying to give back to American workers. I think there's one on here that he just did that isn't on here, and that was the one where they're going to move their fleet over to more climate-friendly vehicles, electric vehicles, which is going to be huge. Enabling all qualified Americans to serve their country in uniform. This was a repeal of Trump banning transgender Americans from being able to serve in the military. Basically, if you're qualified and you're capable to serve, you should be able to serve. So he rolled that that order that Trump did by tweet back, so that now people that are in the LGBTQ community are able to serve in the military again.
And I'm glad he did that because my PT test is coming up, and I'm feeling like a woman. And I think that's the standard to which I should be held. These men's standards are way too hard. Deep in my heart, I like soap operas. I cry when it's cloudy. I believe I only need to do 10 push-ups. So that was big.
That doesn't make you a woman. That just makes you a man with some issues.
Get him, Bona. Get him, Bona.
That's right.
I mean,
it has nothing to do with gender identity.
They didn't suspend mental health. I'm just saying they didn't suspend mental health.
Hey, I feel the way I feel.
Yes, you do.
When I went through basic training back in 1982, we were co-ed, and we had to do everything that the males did. There was no, however, they told all of us to do. There was no, well, you're a female, so you go over here and you do this. No. We were co-ed. If we want to run however many miles, we all ran. We had to do so many push-ups, they said, get down, drop and give me 20. They didn't say, okay, females, give me 10. No. We had to do everything that everybody else had to do, all it. So it had nothing to do with that. But talking about gender, transgender, I like to say congratulations to the Kansas City state legislature, where 2 American Indians were sworn in today. One was transgender. And so I've been saying on Facebook, being attacked, I said it is reaping time. So if anybody has problems with illegal immigration and telling everybody they need to go back where they come from, it's those people. But do you see them whining, complaining, and moaning and groaning and all that kind of stuff? No, they are being active. They're stepping up and saying we matter, we count, all of this too. So again, it's reaping time, America. Like somebody called me a snowflake when I congratulated Mr. Lloyd Austin and Kamala Harris. And I made the comment about how President Biden knew what he was doing because they have that same passion and same spirit of being fearless and all of that. Oh boy, I was attacked. I was called snowflake and all that. And I said, okay, sugar dumbs, you can say what you want. It's reaping time, America. It's reaping time. So many people back me up. So yeah.
All right. Well,
however, I will send flowers to your gender reassignment surgery, Jermaine. It would be interesting to see how you look with breasts.
Well, I wanted to see his documentary called Juwanna Mann Goes to the Air Force. I think that's going to be great.
Well, it's a known fact that I'm a lesbian. So
is that your pickup line for women? I'm really a lesbian. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I feel how you feel.
I feel trapped. Hey, I did once, I was joking around, but I did want to say one serious thing is that I think that it's early and I know what the temptation is, but I think one of the things that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to move past Trumpism when we look at this new administration and stuff, because the bar is so low that quite literally, as long as he's not, spewing racist stuff, he just comes out, takes a drink of water with one hand and has a complete sentence and stuff. Everybody's like, look, that's presidential and stuff. And it's not. I think that we need to reassign our eyes and readjust our eyesight and stuff, and go and really hold this administration to the standards that we would hold a regular administration to, not just an administration that followed up behind this shit show.
I think we will eventually, Jermaine. But it's honestly like we've been in an abusive relationship. So now the new person that I'm with, they hadn't beat my ass so
in 8 days.
I'm in bliss. I'm like, wow. I said something to you and you're not going to hit me? I'm not going to get black eye?
Yeah, you care if I live or die, perhaps?
Right.
But then, when they get to the White House and after the parties and, the Hennessy and all that kind of good stuff, because Joe had some Hennessy.
Joe had some
Joe got crowned.
They walked in the White House. They opened up the drawers to the resident
with some water
and everything else. There was no plan to disseminate the vaccines. They didn't leave a plan.
Nope. They didn't leave no vaccine.
And it's not like it was hidden. They didn't have a definitive plan for rolling out the vaccine.
And you know what's funny? Because do you guys remember Trump going on this crazy time, other than talking about toilet flushing? He always kept talking about the cupboards were bare. The cupboards were bare. The military didn't have no bullets. Didn't have this and didn't have that.
It was a mess.
It was a mess. And he left the cupboards bare. There's no vaccine. Like, dude, there's no plan. There's no vaccine. So it's always projection. The thing that you're sitting there talking about somebody else is doing, you're doing yourself. It's just like the dude that's cheating on you. When he's sitting there accusing you of cheating, the thing that he's accusing you of doing, he's doing himself. That's projection. So he talks about the cupboards being bare, and then we come to find out that this surplus of vaccine that we were supposed to be having in stockpiles didn't exist.
Yeah.
But that was okay. That was okay. Well, I will give Biden more than a week to fix the economy and do some other things. And you're right, Jermaine. The problem is that so much of what Donald Trump did became normalized that now we have to almost readjust back to what the standard is, because they did the same thing with him. Oh, we'll let him have his hissy fit, but eventually he'll get presidential. He'll welcome Biden to the White House. Melania will have tea with Jill, and he'll do all of those things. They took it like it was a rubber band. He just stretches it, but it's going to snap back in place. And he just broke the rubber band. So now we got Biden in there doing stuff that is refreshing to see. But you're right, the bar is so low that as long as he doesn't sit there and start talking about injecting bleach while your head of the organization is sitting over there looking crazy because she don't know what to say. As long as he don't do stuff like that, or he's sitting there picking fights with North Korea, calling people Rocket Man and, giving everybody nicknames and stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to look like a lot. But you know what? That's only going to be refreshing to us. There's going to be a faction of people that still support him. that are longing and missing for that. They loved it. Did you hear what he called them? Did you see that?
Yes.
They love that kind of stuff. So it's only going to be refreshing for us. They're probably missing that right now. Oh, Biden's boring. Remember, it was that Biden wasn't able to complete sentences, and he's just a Trojan horse, and Kamala Harris gonna take over because they're gonna do the 25th Amendment on him because they're gonna say that he's in mental decline and stuff. I've been seeing this dude on TV every day. I don't see where he in mental decline.
All right, but when all of that the people start missing that talk, that's when the revolution comes in. But on that note, I'm taking my exit. Good to see y'all. Have a good evening.
See you later, D.
All right.
Thank you, D. But yeah, so it's kind of funny how they said, again, it's projection. They were talking about the leader being in decline when the leader that was in decline was the one that was happy that he could recite person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Right.
And he was so surprised by that I have not read that statement in God knows when, and I can still remember person, woman, man, camera, TV. Oh, wow. How did you do that?
Well, he still had his focus on the wall, too. You remember he went down to Texas and visit the wall before he left? He made that trip to Texas.
Yeah, him and his ball shiner, Lindsey Graham, went down with him.
Right.
And,
right.
So, I mean, you raise a good point about what happens next, because, the feds came out and said yesterday that there is a domestic terrorism threat high. And it's sporadic. It's not one group of organizations. You got these, these single cells out here who are gonna, attack facilities, buildings, and individuals.
Correct.
And
the sugar domes.
The next couple of years are gonna look like.
Right. Well, I call them all sugar domes. They may have their own different names and their own whatever. I call them all sugar domes, and they gotta watch for eye on them and all of that. So I said to them all, okay, sugar domes, they got their eyes on you. So yeah.
Yeah, and they not really high though, Kim, either. They really aren't. For my military minds, it's just like this is a lot easier to hit than this right here.
Right.
So, and they know that. So they're pretty much are basically calling the FBI's bluff on and be like, okay, well, come and get us. Because if you hit us, you got 10 more that look just like me. And they're all like-minded. So
right.
It will take a while. It will take a while. And you can't completely eradicate it, but you can put enough what's the word I want to say? You can eliminate enough of it for it to be somewhat controlled. That might be overreaching by me saying control, but it'll be enough to send out the message, hey, America as a whole, we're not going to tolerate this.
I had the thought today. Well, I had the thought today that how we're so quick, United States of America is so quick to other countries and make them fall in line, and how they're treating their own people, and Reagan's telling them to tear that wall down and all of that kind of stuff. I will not be surprised if the United States of America call on some of their strong allies to come and help them fight, because we have a whole different war with this domestic violence that a lot of people keep saying that, oh, it's not that big a deal and blah, blah, blah. Well, while they're up there putting out all those fires that is in front of them, there's that big volcano that's behind them waiting to erupt again. And they're plotting and planning and doing all they can. So I really won't be surprised.
As we have too much of an ego for that. If just follow me. Think about it. We are the big boy on the block. So if we have to fall back and be like, hey, I need some help, then you're not the big boy on the block no more. So just out of ego, just from ego purposes, United States itself wouldn't even do that. I mean. Okay,
well, let me ask you this. With all the craziness going on, and I'll tell you why I'm saying this in a second. Are we, and I know this would be crazy to say, are we headed for a civil war?
Yes.
Hey, can I say something?
Many. Have you ever,
Have you ever walked by a mirror or reflective surface and like look real quick and you didn't know who it was? You kind of like jump for a second and stuff. Do you realize it was you?
Yeah.
Well, that's America talking about domestic terrorism and stuff. It's like, oh, that was us. Oh my God. Because that's America. I don't even know what we're talking about because the reason that we're not gonna call nobody, what we gonna call it on ourselves?
That's what
we're gonna say. That was what this country was founded on. This has been going on. That domestic terrorism has been going on for Black and brown people in this country since the founding of this country. It is the heartbeat and the bloodline. Yeah.
Right.
So
but that's when this was against us. But now that they're coming after them, now it's that tune changes.
It's still an ego thing. I promise you. It's still going to be an ego thing. The big boy, he will never cry for help. He will sit there and get his behind whipped. He will take a butt whooping. He'll take 2 black eyes and a bloody nose. He ain't gonna ask for help.
We know exactly how violent that part of American society is. And so my argument is that no, they're not coming after them. When they bomb a church and 4 little white girls get killed, when they burn down a white town and kill the residents and run everybody else off, white towns over and over and over and over again, when they start burning crosses in their yards and stuff, when they start randomly kidnapping and beating and all this stuff, I'm just telling you, we have known for years how violent this segment of America is. But if you're asking, are our allies in danger? They ain't really allies, y'all. I'm just trying to tell you that too.
Oh yeah.
And they ain't in that much danger. Because anytime, that's like me saying I can't disappear in Africa. Y'all never see me again. That's why Jesus ain't white. He hid in Africa. You can't hide a white boy in Egypt.
But Jermaine,
they be like Joseph. I know Joseph. Joseph live over there.
but Jermaine, let me kick it to you this way. I agree with you mostly, but what we're starting to see is that more and more of these nationalists are getting radicalized, mixed in with this Trump QAnon mess going on, where you do have a lot more of them. When they came to the Capitol, the 2 people that they wanted to hurt the most were white people. Mike Pence, they brought gallows to hang him. They were ready to put a bullet in Nancy Pelosi's head.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. AOC, Cory Booker, Ilhan Omar, Hakeem Jeffries, all of them would have had an issue too had they gotten their hands on them. Totally agree. But they did come for Mike Pence because Trump told them to. They did come for Nancy Pelosi.
Because he had labeled them a traitor. Because he had labeled them a traitor.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means because in the Civil War, brothers killed brothers and stuff. So white people killing other white people who didn't line up with this terroristic view and stuff. Again, this ain't new in this country.
No, it's not. It's not whether it's new. It's coming back out to the forefront.
And it's beginning to be more prevalent. It's beginning to be more prevalent. Look at the school shootings. Look at the shooting in Las Vegas at that concert.
Well, and that's kind of my point, is that American history is literally, so you're exactly proving my point, is that you can't point to a time in American history where this section and this mentality hasn't been violent. This new, they stole the election. It's the same thing as when they lost the Civil War and they told them that it was that they didn't really lose. Sound familiar?
Right.
The South will rise again. Trump will be back again. All this stuff. It really is the history of this country. What it is that a lot of people are just becoming more aware of it. And
that's really my point is that when I say all of that, it's not me saying as a black man that I didn't think that was gone, it ever ended. There was a period. But for a lot of people, that was out of their mind that, oh, this can't happen to us. And we sitting there going, what y'all surprised about? When you sit there and you create the monster, at some point, he gonna turn on you. We already knew that. Now, did you guys know, though, that Donald Trump is still the president?
According to 45 senators, and according to his QAnon base, according to the Proud Boys and the Trumpeteers, you're absolutely right.
Did you know he's going to be inaugurated on March the 4th?
I didn't hear that one.
According,
you didn't? You hadn't heard that?
I didn't know that.
So Q was basically saying, I'm sorry, go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, remember what I was telling y'all in the last segment? You gotta watch your enemies and look at what they're talking about and doing, because that's how you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
right.
So they thought Inauguration Day was going to be the storm, where up until the minute Biden was being sworn in, they thought that he was going to be arrested for being illegitimate and then Trump be installed. March the 4th is the original Inauguration Day. And it ended when America became a corporation, so to speak. They went to it being on January the 20th. Well, at that point, we had gone through 18 presidents. So on March the 4th, Trump is going to become the 19th president of the old democracy.
So I think that's...
No, go ahead.
I think that's important because, like any cult, right? They set these doomsday dates.
Right.
Yes.
The world is still here the next day, right? So, the Grand Poobah was wrong. So the more and more you have these Q moving the fence, right?
Yep.
Q, it was supposed to be the 6th of January. Now it's March the 4th. So after all of these things that Q keeps setting up, and they're proven to be untrue, they're going to start to lose more and more followers. We already saw it a couple of weeks ago after the inauguration. They said, I can't believe this actually happened. They can't believe it because in their eyes, this was true. This was happening. So the more Q sets up these dates.
Yeah. Biden isn't even alive right now. Biden's been dead. That's an actor playing Biden. They filmed all of this in Hollywood, not at the actual White House. Trump is still at the White House. And Biden is dead. They just had an actor dressed up like him. Everybody's wearing masks and stuff like that. None of this is really going on. And God, there was something else that was really stupid that they were believing. But so all of the, I know what it was. So when Trump was calling Biden Sleepy Joe, what he was really saying was Sleeper Joe. Joe was going to actually be the ones to round up all the pedophiles. He's the sleeper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
So this is the problem with the internet. And so a lot of problems with the internet. And so a lot of these people, again, I understand what you're saying. A lot of these people have already been in place with a lot of these things. It's the power of the internet that allows you to see, watch your neighbor.
Correct.
And to see what people have been idiots and racists and bigots and stuff and have held long, ill-favored ideas about how the world works.
Right.
You just get to see it on a more universal basis now because they have communities where they gather to talk about this nonsense stuff that you can be a part of. But when I tell you they've always been dangerous, they didn't just go buy all the guns and bullets.
Well, they've been buying guns.
The guns and bullets. They've had the opportunity. They've done test runs. They're out there training. You know, there's guys out there training, they're pseudo military training and stuff out there, and they're shooting up old cars and stuff. You look at the group that tried to that was plotting to kidnap the Michigan governor and stuff. They're running drills and stuff, and people go, "Oh well, they were trying to kidnap a white lady." They were trying. It doesn't matter who's in the way. Right. And I guess that's the thing that I'm saying. You know, we can talk about all their kooky conspiracy theories, and I just can't. I got better things to do with my time than to actively listen to that kind of BS. Because of the black man, they're all a threat, right? It's all a threat. You know, I'm with Ali on this. You know, I got to close the door on all these snakes because I can't think that 1,000 snakes are going to hold back the rest of the snakes and convince them, save them, save me from them and stuff. But they've always been a threat, and I think it's nice that there are other people that want to come on board, but I think it's empty in the long run. Look at what you're hearing already. Like, well, we might not prosecute everybody that showed up on the 6th. You know, that might overrun the court system. This whole country is built on putting black people back in chains. The prison system, go watch a 13 on Netflix. This whole system is built on incarcerating people and making profit off of them and stuff.
Yes.
And now you're telling me that you can't arrest no more people because you might what?
Hanging themselves with their own rope. Privatization of prison is making them money.
Again, so America looked in the mirror and saw its own image and it got a little scared and stuff, but it's going to realize, oh, that's American stuff. So they're not going to do anything. All these groups, and that's the reason these groups are so emblazoned to show up at other places in 2021 with no mask on and go, I dare you to come get me. Mm-hmm. Because I know you're not. I know this place is built for me.
Right.
How you going to throw me out of VIP?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And the woman who the woman who stole the Speaker of the House's laptop and sell it to the Russians, she gets to go home with her mommy. She literally gets to go home with her mommy. And then we've all seen, how they juxtapose Khalif Browder stealing a backpack, this woman stealing a laptop of the Speaker of the House, trying to sell it to our sworn enemy for life. Right. To go home with her mommy.
How about that?
You can't throw me out of VIP. I pop these bottles.
There you go. Yeah. So true.
Oh, you don't have to CID.
Yeah, no, and I think, to wrap it up, Jermaine, that is kind of the point of it is that, there's nothing new under the sun. It's just now the way the spotlight shines down on it, it exposes it a little bit more. It's easier because now there's the internet out there. There's all these different things where people can go play, congregate, and talk and do these kind of things. As I'll always say, and I will say to the end of time, this is not about Donald Trump. Donald Trump did not create racism. Donald Trump did not create these grievances. He did not create this ideology and all these other things. He stoked the flames of people that already, you can't start a fire that's already been burning. All he did was blow a little air and give it a little bit more oxygen. He ain't start the fire. As the great group says, we didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. And that's what was happening.
Just don't ask. Don't ask.
All I'm going to say is the great Shaka Zulu.
Shaka Zulu. Oh, I got to hear this, Kim, because I haven't heard that name in a long time.
He said, never leave an enemy behind because they will rise to strike at your throat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, he also said after that, but
no, don't do it. I ain't on board.
Oh, yeah.
That was just too good. That was too good.
Well.
And then after that, he said, Shabba. Okay, I'm done. Okay.
Boy, you a fool. You a fool. Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, boy. That's how we do, y'all. That's how we give you some very insightful things that you didn't know that Shaka Zulu may have said.
There you go. Sith Lord now.
And now the Sith Lord. I'm glad to have you do a commercial. I love it. I love it. The hood is appropriate. The background is appropriate. I just need the lightsaber, and you are just.
I'm work on that.
You work on that, but look, guys, we're going to also be working on, as Jermaine pointed to, now that we're trying to talk about raising the bar and everything else, what we're really saying is that, okay, we understand that we hit a huge crater in the road with the way Trump ran the White House, the policies, a lot of the things that were against the norms. And now we start seeing some of those norms, as refreshing as it is. At the end of the day, it's not going to be enough. We're going to need more and more and more. We're going to have to expect more and more and more from our leaders. I'm going to say this specifically to the Democrats. Do not be afraid to go hard. Playing around the edges, playing kumbaya songs is only going to get you one thing: defeat. You are going to get defeat. Go for it. If they will not come with you, then you take that filibuster and you put that son of a gun away and you do what you got to do. If you need to pass stuff through reconciliation so that it's 50 plus Kamala, I ain't gonna say 50 plus 1. It's gonna be 50 plus my baby, Kamala.
That's right.
Because I know she watching and I know she hear me. My wife ain't watching this, is she? Anyway, Kamala got Secret Service, so she better not do nothing to me. But anyway, yeah, so we got 50 plus Kamala. We need to do that as much as possible.
Yes.
Take some of the hardline Democrats off the sidelines. I'm talking to you, Joe Manchin. I'm talking to you, Kirsten Sinema, and make sure that you provide a unified front. If you're going to go out in the midterms, go out passing $15 minimum wage. Go out passing more equity. Go out the privatization of the jails. Go out passing more COVID relief. Go out
turning DC into a state.
Fair housing. Turn DC into a state. You know how they always kept talking about on the libs?
Yep.
Right.
Karma is a be what?
That's right.
Go ahead, do it all. They gonna kick you out anyway. Get yours now. Don't sit there and be trying to talk about, can we make some deals? Can we negotiate? Did they do that with Amy Coney Barrett? Did they do that with Merrick Garland? I don't think so. Did they do that with those $1 trillion tax cuts? Now they mad because you want them to repeal them back. Do what you got to do. Do it now. Do it quickly. Be bold. Do not apologize for holding to your values, and stop trying to dance with people that do not want to dance with you. That's not what they're there for. They are called the opposition party for a reason. Leave these people alone. The ones that want to come over because they see that their party is becoming extreme, welcome them in, but do not wait for them. If you ain't on the bus when we pull off, you run after the bus. But we ain't slowing down just to let you get on. That's what we're going to do. And that's what we're going to do as a panel, is keep bringing these issues up, holding the new folks accountable. If you're watching this, understand that, yes, this is a talk about our federal level, but stay involved in your local levels. If you can't run for office, volunteer. Do what you can to stay engaged. Make sure that you know what's going on in your communities, because elections do have consequences. And with that, I'm going to thank my guests, CJ Jones, Brad Coughlin, Jermaine Parker, Kimberly Morrow, and of course, at Tar Heel, Devona Allen. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all stay safe. We'll see you again next week.
It's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket.